Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. We want to give you an update on some of your Saturday night stories. We've got our crews working hard to bring you the very latest. You can join Tori Cooper and myself at 10 and 11 on Atlanta News First. 10 o'clock is on Peachtree TV, 11 is on CBS. We will see you there, or you can join us online as well at atlantanewsfirst.com. We have a lot of ways to keep you updated. So in the meantime, we do want to give you a look at some of the stories that we've been following, as well as some updates that we have received to the Atlanta News First newsroom. First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin is going to be joining us in just a few minutes, giving you a look at your weekend forecast. If you're headed out to the Pride Parade tomorrow, I know you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on the weather. So he's going to have your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, I do want to give you a look at some of our headlines. Now, one of these stories is something that I was actually covering last night. I was outside at the DeKalb County jail where we had heard of some kind of incident taking place. At that point, we were getting really limited information from authorities, but now we have been able to piece together what exactly happened, and it's related to allegedly incidents that happened in other counties. So I want to bring up this mugshot here. This is the mugshot for Jeffrey Walker, 30 years old, from Rome, and he had been wanted on domestic violence charges, and police attempting to pull him over kind of started this whole sequence of events. We are told from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation that he has been shot and killed by officers in DeKalb County yesterday. So I want to give you a little bit of background on this story. So this man that you see here, Jeffrey Walker, police say he shot at a canine while trying to escape law enforcement, and as I mentioned, was ultimately killed yesterday, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The GBI said that officers found Walker at a DeKalb County hotel after he had escaped an earlier chase. Police reportedly told him to put his gun down, but Walker fired and police fired back. Walker died on scene and no officers were injured. Walker was wanted on an outstanding warrant out of Bartow County after a domestic violence incident, and he was also wanted on charges in Floyd County, also tied to domestic violence. Floyd County deputies saw Walker in a car on Highway 411 on Thursday. This was around 4:30 in the afternoon, and they gave chase. They say Walker ultimately crashed the vehicle, jumped out of the car and ran, and then allegedly shot at Deputy Canine Athos in the process. Athos was treated at a nearby animal hospital. And before being found at the hotel Friday, we were told Walker ran through neighborhoods as well as the woods near a sanitation department off Leroy Scott Drive in Decatur. The GBI says this is the 79th shooting involving an officer that they have investigated this year. So going back to the coverage that my videographer and I reported yesterday, we were outside of the DeKalb County jail. We had learned that some kind of incident had taken place early in the evening, and we were trying to piece together what exactly had happened. I had spoke to an officer on site who did confirm that an incident took place nearby the jail. We later learned after driving around, we saw the sanitation department and a significant scene out there, and that is ultimately where Walker was killed by officers. Now, at this point, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is looking into this. That is protocol for any shooting that involves a law enforcement officer. I know I gave you a lot of information out there. It was kind of a confusing sequence of events. All we knew at this time last night was that the suspect here, Jeffrey Walker, had been apprehended. That was the most we could get from law enforcement. And today, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirming that he was shot and killed by police. And they say that this individual was wanted on domestic violence charges and is also accused of shooting a canine officer. So the Georgia Bureau of Investigation going to be looking into everything. We want to take you now to a story that our reporter Asia Wilson is going to be covering for us today. This has been in the news now for the last 7 or 8 days or so. The conflict going on between Hamas and between Israel. Now, what took place today in downtown Atlanta this afternoon, not too far from the CNN building, was this large gathering, this large rally. Now, they say that it is in response to, as they put it, Israel's siege and the bombing of Gaza. People were there downtown today to stand in solidarity with Palestine. This action was co-sponsored by local chapters of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, as well as the Palestinian Youth Movement. Those rallying this afternoon said Israel is denying civilians access to food, water, and electricity amid mass bombing, leading to mass casualties and, as they put it, massacres of hundreds of children and entire families. Those out there today saying that every person in the United States who stands against racism or oppression should stand with Palestine. These are the words of the group that was out there today, a pretty large group of people standing in support of Palestine, this in light of the ongoing conflict between Hamas and between Israel. Now, we are going to have much more on this later on tonight. We are going to have stories from both a local and a national perspective. This is the latest event to take place right in downtown Atlanta. Again, the rally today sponsored by two different organizations, the Party for Socialism and Liberation and the Palestinian Youth Movement. Asia Wilson was out there this afternoon. She has a full report. And again, we do have national details as well that we will bring you tonight on Atlanta News First. We also have plenty of coverage on atlantanewsfirst.com as well as our Atlanta News First app. If you want to see more of the stories that we have been covering here locally, as we have said before, many of our local leaders, including the governor, speaking out in support of Israel, and this group today standing with Palestine. So we have much more that you can read for a lot of background and more information on our website, on our app, or if you join us tonight on TV. Going to take you back out here live for an event today that Atlanta News First actually sponsored. This is the Making Strides Walk, and it's in support of those who have dealt with breast cancer, those who have a loved one who has had to deal with breast cancer. My granny is a breast cancer survivor, so I know for a lot of people this really hits close to home. Of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's a pretty special event in that our very own anchor, Tracy Hutchins, was serving as an MC earlier today. And again, Atlanta News First was a proud sponsor. This is actually the 25th year that Atlanta has hosted this event, but this year they did have a new location, the Home Depot backyard in the shadow of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We said that Tracy Hutchins, she was the MC. This is the American Cancer Society's largest fundraising event of the year. And thousands of people walked today for about 3 miles through downtown Atlanta. No one really keeping track of how long it took to finish because, of course, it's not about that. It's about the cause. We spoke to someone there who said that it was a special day. It's a special day for survivors, for caregivers, and really just the opportunity for Atlanta to come together and celebrate all of those who we know have been touched by breast cancer, to honor the memories of those that we have lost to breast cancer, and actively working to bring awareness as well as fundraising efforts for research. People there today, they were walking for their mothers, maybe their daughters, sisters, their aunts, their grandmothers, even a few for the men in their lives who have had to deal with breast cancer, really encouraging people to be an advocate for their health and to go ahead and get those mammograms. Always an important message to send. Of course, with October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's a timely opportunity to mention it, but it's something that we also need to talk about all the time. And events like this are just another opportunity to highlight that. Again, our 25th year here in Atlanta, so a really special event that Atlanta News First got to help sponsor, and really special cause for thousands of people out there today. All right, we're going to take you back out here live because obviously it was a little cloudy today, but overall it didn't look like those who were walking were too affected by it. We have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin joining us now, and he's going to have a look at the rest of our weekend forecast. So, Cutter, we have a pretty big weekend here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Atlanta Pride, obviously.
Many outdoor activities, yeah.
We're going to be, you're going to be out at the parade tomorrow. A lot of other people are too, and I think they want to enjoy it. It's going to be chilly, though.
It is
It's gonna be kinda
almost like a
cool.
holiday parade, right? If only we have this weather around Thanksgiving and around Christmas, it'll be very seasonal. We are tracking both cooler temperatures tomorrow, and in addition to that, it's going to be pretty windy tomorrow. That's going to add to the chilly feel. You're getting a preview of the 7-day forecast, an earlier live look at Marietta Square. It was popping out there, tents probably staked down because it was a pretty windy day. Breezy to windy across all of North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. And tomorrow will feature more of the same, more wind and a little bit more in the way of wind gusts, maybe up to about 30 miles an hour. So a little bit windier than today. Tomorrow. So if you like the weather today, we're going to keep the same kind of wind. We're going to add some clouds to the picture, though I do think, at least initially, there's going to be a decent amount of sunshine tomorrow. But with the wind and the cooler temperatures, you will be reaching for the jackets, no doubt about it. Going to load up my weather computer here, and we'll break down your forecast, both tracking the cool air at the moment. If you've been outside this evening, you probably have noticed it's trending cooler a little bit more quickly than it was last night. Still have that breeze, so want the jackets even this evening. And then we'll go into the hour-by-hour forecast as well. Again, current temperatures right now, not all that cool outside, but with the breeze, you may want the light jacket. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s here across Metro Atlanta. 65 Locust Grove, Covington 66, Athens 67. Look at Blairsville at 60, 68 in Rome, 62 in Carrollton. And cooler air is moving in from the north and west. So from northwest to south and east, those temperatures will continue to cool here over the next several hours. In fact, hour-by-hour forecast in the First Alert Weather app, a good tool to have if you do have any late evening plans. Again, a live look at Marietta Square. Folks still enjoying the evening events, wrapping up after a pretty busy day there on the square up in Marietta. If you don't have the First Alert Weather app, you can just search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your Apple Google Play Store, and you can get the latest, especially if you're out the door early tomorrow morning. Maybe you're going to the Pride Parade. Maybe you have something else going on tomorrow. Going to church tomorrow, going to brunch with friends, trying to get a longer run in. You can see what the temperature is doing, what it feels like with that wind factored in as well in the First Alert Weather app. Again, hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures quickly cooling over the next 3 to 4 hours. I think many spots will be in the upper 50s before midnight. City of Atlanta around maybe midnight, 1 a.m. or cooling into the upper 50s. And then back into the low to mid 50s by 4, 5, 6 a.m. 7, 8, 9 a.m. temperatures not budging all that much. Maybe one of those mornings where the coolest number of the morning is actually after sunrise as that colder air continues to filter in. We begin with a lot of sunshine, though some clouds around, and if you're watching from the mountains, if you're watching from northwest Georgia, I think you're going to be battling a little bit more cloud cover than the city of Atlanta, especially as we get into tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow evening. So with that in mind, make sure that you do have the jacket tomorrow morning because we will be dealing with cooler temperatures, cooler than this morning by a handful of degrees, but also winds that will be gusting 20 to 30 as mentioned. Here's a look at low temperatures across the region here. Again, cloudiest north of Atlanta. 52 in town, 51 Covington, 48 Blairsville, 49 in Carrollton, low to mid-50s Rome and Dalton. So not all that cold, but cooler than this morning and made to feel even cooler when you factor in that breeze. Low to mid-50s, the rule from Atlanta points south. I think 51, 52, 53 will be pretty common in and around the city of Atlanta tomorrow morning. And it's going to be a day that starts with some sunshine. Again, here's the hour-by-hour forecast. We'll start you here at, let's start early on, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Notice how there is some cloud cover, maybe even a few sprinkles of in Calhoun, Blue Ridge, Rome. City of Atlanta, dry and some sunshine. Clouds trying to build in as we head into the late morning and around noon, right as the Pride Parade is kicking off. Some clouds trying to nudge in here, but I think sunshine will battle it out a little bit. Temperature is able to recover into the upper 50s and lower 60s. If you're in one of the spots that sees a little more cloud cover, maybe like Cleburne or Randolph counties in Alabama, you could stay in the upper 50s all day long. Most of us, even where it does warm into the lower 60s tomorrow afternoon, the majority of the day spent in the upper 50s. And notice how we do have on this particular forecast model some sprinkles, some very light rain, especially in East Georgia. This is later Sunday evening into Sunday night. We do have a 20% chance of rain in the city, a little greater off to the east, Athens, Eatonton, over towards Augusta. If you're driving up to Greenville, if you're driving over to Columbia, you're going to be driving into potentially some showers later Sunday evening into Monday morning. And then it moves out. Again, clouds trying to build back in Monday. So this isn't going to be a sunny cold or a sunny cool stretch. We're talking cool, breezy, partly to mostly cloudy as chilly air settles into North Georgia and metro Atlanta. And it's going to be a gradual process. I think, in fact, our coolest temperatures will probably occur on Monday. And the coolest morning might be Tuesday or Wednesday morning once we finally clear out some of this cloud cover across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, I want to remind you we are live right now at Atlanta News First on YouTube. Get that account a like and a follow. And I'll be monitoring it for any questions. If you do need any clarification on the forecast, just holler there, and I will answer it right here on our stream. So if you're watching on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, you can go over to YouTube, and that's the account, that's the platform you can ask your weather questions on. So we're still dealing with clouds Monday into Monday afternoon, though gradually we will lose some of that cloud cover as we get into Tuesday. And also, in addition to the clouds, here's a look at winds. We had winds gusting up to about 30 today. Forecast models trending a little lower with tomorrow's wind gusts, but I do think the potential is there for winds to gust like today up to around 30, especially between maybe 11 a.m. and noon and on through maybe 4, 5, 6 in the afternoon. There will be a breeze overnight here too. It's not a calm night tonight nor tomorrow night into Monday morning, but it will be a little bit lighter at night and early in the morning versus in the daytime hours. Your First Alert 7-day forecast. Here is the trend. Trending much cooler as we get into our Sunday. It'll be brisk out there with that breeze. Mostly cloudy Sunday and Monday. Chilly morning Tuesday. Wednesday mornings have the potential to be the coolest. Right now we're going 46 both Monday and Wednesday mornings, but in reality, Wednesday morning may end up being the chillier one. Tuesday morning as well with a clearer sky, light winds. You need light winds, and you want a clear sky if you really want to see temperatures get as cool as they could. So not all of the ingredients are there for a really chilly night, especially Monday morning. But with the wind factored in, it's going to feel chilly regardless of what the actual low temperature is. Sunshine, stunning afternoon Wednesday. More clouds Thursday. Could have a few showers around late in the day, especially Thursday night. That rain chance gets a boost. And it lingers into Friday, though there is timing uncertainty with that forecast. A 40 to 50% chance of what looks like scattered showers, daytime hours on our Friday. So we will be watching that potential for you. Just kind of bookmark it in the back of your brain as a day in which could have a little bit of a shower activity across North Georgia and metro Atlanta as we get into late week and on into the weekend. Though I do think the system arrives, it moves out. It was looking like it could linger. You know, when we were talking 10 days out, we were starting to look at some of the signs of the weather this coming weekend. And it was looking like unsettled weather could linger, but now looking like it's going to be more progressive. It'll move in, do its thing, and then it'll move on out, so it's not going to linger too long. Nonetheless, next day to watch for the potential for some showers in the forecast. I want to thank you for tuning in and for watching. I want to remind you we are on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate, starting at 10 p.m. Another check of the First Alert forecast there. Also back on WANF, Atlanta News First at 11, the late news tonight, and we'll bring you the forecast there as well as your latest news headlines. We'll be keeping you updated even outside of news time, though, on the First Alert Weather app, Atlanta News First app, and at atlantanewsfirst.com. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Grab a jacket if you have evening plans. You'll want maybe an extra layer for your brisk Pride Sunday and Midtown and downtown Atlanta. Again, cool and breezy tomorrow. 20% chance of rain, more clouds than anything else. Chilly weather really settling in as we start the work week.